How are you doing? My name is Alexander Higgins. I'm the author, creator of the Exact Quotes Test, the United States Constitution. That's also known as the American Test and the Article Section Text Method. It is the gold standard of American social sciences. Let's hope the future proves me correct on that. Anyways, today's topic is about titles of nobility. What are titles of nobility? Yesterday I talked about bills of attainder. I made a video about that. So bills of attainder are things that take a group and they lower that group's rights or liberties or freedoms just because they are of that group, okay? So a title of nobility is the opposite of a bill of attainder. A bill of attainder and a title of nobility, both of those things are illegal according to Articles 1, Section 9, and Section 10 of the U.S. Constitution. A title of nobility, what that does is if we have our average rights, and those average rights are right about here, what that does is that takes a particular group, and what it does to that group, what it does to that particular group, it allows them to have liberties and rewards and access of everyone just because of their group identity, okay? Not because of any type of special action that they did, but just because they are members of a particular group. We could group these people in any way, shape, or form. We could call them Germans, we could call them Italians, we could call them Christians, Jews, Republicans, Democrats, Patriots, Communists, whatever we might want to call them. We could call them that. It's not really, a title of nobility is not really about calling people a king, a queen, a duke, or any of that stuff. It's about the privileges assigned to an individual or a group. Usually these privileges are assigned to groups, okay? So you could call the people disabled, you could call them veterans, you could call them disadvantaged people, you could call them a protected group. If you're granting them special privileges that other people would not normally have, okay, just because of their identity, not because of any action that they've done, then that would be a title of nobility. That's what I believe a title of nobility to be anyways. That's what it was meant by it when it was written into the U.S. Constitution. So a middle school, a public middle school, calling their soccer team the Knights, for instance, if you give that title to them, or the Kings or the Queens or whatever, a public middle school doing that would not be granting a title of nobility just by the mere name of something, okay? So a title of nobility is about privileges granted. They are illegal according to the U.S. Constitution. And titles of nobility are opposite of bills of attainder. So when it comes to equal treatment of people, or when it comes to the actual legislation of equality in the U.S. Constitution, I believe much of that equality can be found in that equality of legislation can be found most easily in Article 1, Section 9 of the U.S. Constitution and Article 1, Section 10 of the U.S. Constitution. Article 1, Section 9 applies to the federal government, and Section 10 of that same article applies to state governments. When we're talking about legislating for equality, though, when we're using those terms to legislate for equality, when we're talking about bills of attainder and titles of nobility, we're not talking about granting equal outcomes. We're just talking about granting the exact same rules, the exact same punishment and reward system for everyone, okay? So that's like giving everyone the exact same rules at a track and field event, okay? That just because you're giving everyone the exact same rules does not mean that you're going to give them the exact same outcomes. The only time people are going to get the exact same outcomes are if the only time that people are going to get the same outcomes is when two or more people do the exact same thing, such as having an exact tie at the end of a 100-meter race. Let's say everyone gets 10 seconds, okay? They would all tie for first place in that case. The titles of nobility and bills of attainder from Article 1, Section 10 of the U.S. Constitution, they are all about making everyone play by the same rules. They're about giving everyone the same exact scale, okay, or the identical scale, with a punishment and reward system in our society, as far as granting gun rights, speech rights, transportation rights, titles of nobility and bills of attainder. Give everyone the same rules, okay? So I think you guys kind of got that so far. Titles of nobility, they grant special privileges to a group just because they have a particular group identity, and they are illegal according to the U.S. Constitution, Article 1, Section 9, and Section 10 of the U.S. Constitution. Thank you. I hope that was helpful to you. I'm the author of the Exact Quotes Test, United States Constitution, that is also known as the American Test. And it can be found on Barnes & Noble, or you can search for it on Facebook or other digital entities. Thank you very much.